Hey HTDA and welcome to Techtonica. If you've been playing this game and enjoying it as much as I have so far, you've probably noticed that it can be a little bit of a pain to figure out how many of which buildings do you need, especially if you're trying to build a mall like I have over here. Now, in order to help you out with that, I actually just tested the speed of everything, including belts, inserters, assemblers, production speeds of all the different materials. So without further ado, here they are. Okay, so let's start with the basics. The inserters, as they are called, and although I keep calling them sorters, they transport items with a rate of 18 items per minute, which is not bad in the beginning, but it's really slow later on, especially if you have high output buildings like the mining drill or things like the thresher. So you will need to upgrade your inserters based on those buildings. Now, the Mark 1 belt actually transports about 120 items per minute, and I say about because there is something wonky with these belts going on that I will mention in a moment. However, let's focus on the inserters first. So the fast inserters actually work at twice the speed of the normal inserters, which is then 36 per minute, and the long inserters, although they're very useful, actually work a little bit slower than the normal inserters. They only transport 15 items per minute. So use these with care because they are really slow. Now the filter inserters that I keep calling sorter inserters because that's what they do, they sort the items. Anyway, they transport things almost as fast as the fast inserter at a rate of 30 items per minute to be exact. Now, there's one problem with all of this because normally that would mean that with 4 of these you can actually fill up a full Mark 1 belt, but as you can see over here, there's only 3 of them actually doing anything, and there's these small gaps with the items on the belt. This game is not about perfect ratios, at least not in its current state, because some items seem to take more space on a belt, other items don't. So right now I'm only putting 90 of these platforms on the belt, even though if this would be, for example, or I could fit more on a single belt. So just keep this as rough guidelines, please. Mark II belts, on the other hand, are able to transport up to about 270 items per minute. And again, keep that as a ballpark because it seems to be varying a little bit depending on what you actually put on the belt. But for example, like I've shown in this example, the ore seems to actually be able to keep up with the capacity of the belt. So 270 items per minute. Drills start out producing at a rate of 25 items per minute, but you will soon upgrade those, so keep that in mind when you do your math. Also keep in mind that that means that you will need to fiddle around a little bit with the inserters because the normal inserters are no longer going to cut it after you upgrade it. Similarly, smelters will initially produce at a rate of 15 items per minute, but that will soon be upgraded to, for example, 18 after the first upgrade, so make sure you keep that in mind. Planters produce at a rate of about 1.85 items per minute, so that means you're going to need 6 of them to satisfy a thresher because this will accept 10 per minute. Now, whatever output this produces, depending on the plant you throw in here, can typically be produced by 2 more threshers. So keep a 2-to-1 ratio between the first thresher and the secondary line. So I'm not going to have you sit through an entire video of me telling you all the intermediate items one by one, how fast they're producing, and I'll just put that in a comments down below so it's also easy to edit if that ever changes. Make sure you point it out if I got any of the math wrong, because this is just me measuring things and that can be imprecise because the belts and inserters and things like that don't exactly work perfectly, but they should be pretty close to what it actually is, so that will help you make your own layouts. Now, I do want to point out, and this you already know this if you've watched my other videos, but I don't think it's necessarily optimal to make a mall that's completely automated, with belts going everywhere to make every building in the game completely automated, because you simply can make a little layout like this with a assembler, a box, some filter inserters, and some belts like this. And you can pretty much make any item you want as long as it doesn't have more than 3 inputs. And all you need to do is put the required material, just put a stack of each of these items in here, and you'll get more items than you're ever going to need. For example, over here I did exactly that for some of the light sticks, and I have about 800 light sticks over here, not counting what I already have in my inventory, and that's more light sticks than I'm ever going to be placing down. So yeah, don't spend a lot of time making a very complicated mall if you can just keep it simple. That also means I'm not going to be putting in all the production speeds of all the different buildings, but if you have done that math, then please let me know. I'll just put it in the comment, and others might be able to benefit from that. If you want to see how I've built this mall, including everything up to Mark II belts, make sure you watch my previous episodes and the one coming up next week, because of course that is exactly what I'll be doing, and I'll be expanding on this project over here as we go. So I hope you find this useful information, and hopefully this will be all in the game at some point and not be like unclear and something you have to look up elsewhere. If you found this useful, make sure you like the video, and of course subscribe for more Techtonica content. If you're still here, you're awesome, and I hope to catch you in the next one.